What's up guys, JNO here and welcome to another video on FM Scout, and we're going to look at the big news that has been happening recently in the Premier League just before the transfer window slams shut, and that is Josep Guardiola officially announcing with Man City that he will be Manchester City manager come the start of next season. Now this is big news. Josep Guardiola is one of the biggest managers in the world at the moment, and he is going to be part of the Premier League next season. Now that's got me excited. It even had me excited about 2 or 3 weeks ago when I started a series on my own channel looking at Guardiola and Lionel Messi going to Man City. But we're going to reboot this series. We're only putting Josep Guardiola at Man City as manager. Messi is going to stay at Barcelona, and we're going to see what Josep Guardiola does with the Manchester City football team. Now we've put him in at the end of the 2015 and 2016 season. We have had a few things happen differently, of course, than it will do in real life. And of course, if you look at the recent transfers, you've got stuff like John Stones going to Man United, which seems to be a very popular decision in game for the FM system. And before we sim forward a year, we are going to have a look at the team that Josep Guardiola is taking over. Okay, so if we go off of general info, we can see that value-wise, Sergio Aguero is easily the best player in the team, 28 years old, with a 57 million price tag, whereas David Silva's just behind with 49 million and Kevin De Bruyne with 46, Raheem Sterling 33. These are the star players at Manchester City in real life and in the team that Josep Guardiola is taking over. If we actually have a look at the team, you can see there's not too many differences in this side. The only player I don't really recognise, and that just may be me not knowing as much about football as I'd like to think I know, is this guy here, Jason Denayer. Looks like he's a youngster that has been loaned out to a couple of clubs and has been brought back in and has somehow made it into the first team squad. And if we have a look at where they finished last year, we can see they finished third in the 2015-2016 season, which is a possibility at the end of this season in real life as well. He's taken over a team that has Vincent Kompany as captain, Yaya Toure as vice captain, the key player is Aguero, and the hot prospect is Jason Denayer. Now let's sim forward a year and see what Josep Guardiola can do at Manchester City. Okay, so the very first thing I want to talk about is the fact that Josep Guardiola did not keep his job after 1 year in this save. Now I really don't think this is going to happen in real life. I think even if Manchester City don't win the title next year, I think they will stick with Guardiola for at least 2 or 3 years before they get rid of him, unless there is a major drop in form to the point where they're in like a Chelsea situation. But as you can see in game, Guardiola got sacked because of the club's poor league position. Now I'm not actually interested in just letting Football Manager decide what happens in this experiment. I want to see what Josep Guardiola can build at Man City. So what I have done with the in-game editor, and yes, I apologise if you don't like the use of the in-game editor, but it's the easiest way to do experiments like this. We have put Guardiola back in charge as Man City manager, and we will continue to do so until maybe 3 or 4 seasons in, when I feel like realistically he might get replaced or he might step down. If we have a look at the Premier League, we can see Man United finished top, Chelsea came second, with Man City grabbing 3rd place. Arsenal managed to grab the 4th spot with Tottenham and Liverpool just behind, so not a drastic change in the table as far as the top teams are concerned. We can see manager movements. We had Alan Pardew leave for Nigel Pearson coming in. Roberto Martinez left, and as he has done in previous experiments I've done, he's taken over the England job. Jurgen Klopp also left and Robert Mancini came in. Top scorers in the league were Jose Perez, Roberto Firmino and Alexis Sanchez. Highest average rating went to Mesut Ozil, with Juan Mata and Eden Hazard just behind. And assists went to Juan Mata with 14 assists, Oscar with 12 and Mesut Ozil with 12, with Mesut Ozil getting the most players of the match, with Sergio Aguero behind on 8, and Kevin Trippier moving to Everton getting 7 player of the matches. Now as Guardiola only really left at the end of the season, this is still the team he built. A new manager hadn't been named yet when I put him back in, so Guardiola still has Sergio Aguero and Kevin De Bruyne as his main players, 7.84 and 7.74 average rating. Otamendi and company were very solid at the back by the looks of things. David Silva still put in a good shift with a 7.5 rating, and the best signing that he had looks like it was Ivan Cavallero. 13 appearances, 5 goals with a 7.42 rating. If we have a look at his history as Man City manager, we can see that he came in and changed his preferred formation to a 4-2-3-1 wide straight off the bat, and his first couple of signings were Jack Butland and Axel Witsel, both coming in seemingly at the start of the season, and he sold their promising young prospect Jason Denier to FC Barcelona for 7 million. Now, the fact that they brought Jack Butland for 20 million is surprising considering they've got Joe Hart, and it's probably not very good for England as a nation having the two best keepers that we have in one team. He came in on form by the looks of things, winning the Premier Division Manager of the Month in September. He then sold Steven Jovetic to Inter for 8.5 million. He brought in Ivan Cavallero from AS Monaco for 28.5 million. He also brought in Paulo Oliveira from Real Madrid for 3.4, Christian Paccio from Belenenses for 2.6 million. He got knocked out by Paris Saint-Germain in the European Champions Cup quarter-final. He got the Premier Division Manager of the Month for April, and third clearly wasn't good enough for the Man City board, and they sacked him as manager. So, Football Manager doesn't necessarily think Pep Guardiola is going to have the best first season, but make sure you stay tuned to FM Scout, where you can see if he has a better second season as Manchester City manager. Also, make sure to check out my channel where you can see Pep Guardiola and Lionel Messi at Man City. In that one, I do not change what happens once I put Guardiola and Messi at Manchester City. So, a lot of things change from the norm of what I set it at the beginning. I will hopefully get another episode of that series out as well. Thank you so much for tuning in. Make sure you catch the next video to see how he does in the 2017-2018 season, and I'll catch you guys next time.